All right, we're live. How is everybody doing tonight?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, way to go. Shatina already hit the like button. Everybody follow suit. Hit the like button.
Right, hit that like button. Make sure we get plenty of likes in here, guys. If you haven't done so yet.
Gotta like the world.
How are you in here? All right.
We got an echo somewhere.
Not here at my place. Finally.
Not me. I only got one thing going.
Yeah, my other one here is muted.
I don't hear any echo here.
Nope.
Hey, Howie.
What's up, Howie?
Just double check. All right, we're going to talk about weapons around the homestead, SHGF, that we could use. Well, I feel like crud tonight, so I'm going to let. Can't even think of people.
Still got a loud echo in here.
Still got a loud echo? Or you can just start off loud echo.
I don't hear an echo on my end.
I don't hear anything on my end either.
Okay.
You hear it now? I don't hear anything, Gil.
I don't
Go,
hear.
here.
Hang on. Oh, I found it. It's mine. Sorry, my bad. I had the original one opened up, and I opened it. I can't comment on it, so I opened the other one up, and the other one, and that's what happened. All right, I apologize to everybody for that echo. That's my bad. Here, let me
All right,
let me slap myself.
Start off. I'll be right back.
Yep,
okay, I'm up. All right, so let me get my paper up here, my notes up here, so we're looking good. So basically, when we were first talking about this, is going to be prepper weapons that make sense for whatever. And make sure that thing there is, it's still muted. Good. All right. So obviously, when we're talking weapons that make sense, we're talking non-semi-auto weapons. And so in the side chat there, how many different types of weapons do you think I came up with? And of course, I'll tell you, I was working with Dave to get some ideas.
You talking about non-semi-automatic or just period?
Non-semi-automatic weapons.
Are we talking about going back to like the melee days of medieval Europe?
No, common sense. Ones that make sense for a prepper.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And let me see if I get this other one over here so I can see it here. There we go. That's that one. Okay. So, well, basically, I came up with, and some of these are kind of correlated, but I came up with 14 different categories. And I'm just going to blow through the categories and we can come back and discuss them if that's okay with everybody.
Go for it.
All right. Muzzle loaders - flash pan rifles and pistols. So the old fashioned way, you actually had a flash pan, no primer, so all you need is black powder and a chunk of lead and you can fire it. Next one, ball and cap rifle and pistols. Black powder cartridge weapons, rifle and pistols. Bolt actions, lever actions, revolvers, shotguns. Here's going to bring up some. What are you talking about? This next one is airsoft, and we'll talk about that later. Regular pellet guns, hunting air rifles, bows, long recurve compound, crossbows, cross pistols, and slingshots. Can you guys think of anything else that could fit in there?
Ice pick.
Well,
What was that?
Ice pick.
Yeah, ice pick, but yeah, okay. But that's more of a defensive personal. That's, the stuff I listed here, you can use as an offensive weapon from a distance.
You can use that as a distance one. You can throw an ice pick.
All right, then we're getting to knives and tomahawks. But what I was thinking,
projectile
and you're
weapons.
right, but that could be very good. Well, knives, tomahawks, ice picks, and throwing weapons would be something else. Shurikens, throwing stars, anything else. And then of course, besides the, wrist rocket type slingshots, there is the regular sling,
The bolo, yeah.
bolo, atlatls, but those
You're
take a
talking
little bit. Those take a little bit more skill for a person to use. Yeah, I've been
You're talking about projectile weapons, basically.
Huh? Yeah,
You originally 14 was about projectile weapons
projectile weapons of some kind. Yeah,
to get a distance shot, basically.
yeah.
One like this, assisted blades.
Yeah. I personally, and I could be totally off base with this, and I apologize, but I categorize that more as a personal defense, offense. I've yet to see anyone be able to use that to go hunting consistently, because you don't want to be throwing it at squirrels or rabbits.
Why not?
But if you raise rabbits, yeah, but yeah. Mickey says bolo in there.
It's actually a bola.
Yeah, pipe guns. Oh, blowguns.
Blowguns. I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, that was Texan said that one.
I built a blowgun on here. I think last year or year before.
Okay, there's a question in the side chat we need to address really quick. Shatina, I hope I pronounced it right. Shatina. Do you have to get a permit for hunting with an air rifle? Well, you got to get a permit to hunt no matter what you use, whether it's bow and arrow, rifle, air rifle. You need a permit to hunt.
Unless there are certain states like mine that you are allowed to kill certain animals if they are within a certain distance of your home. So
Right.
In my state of South Carolina, if they are within 100 feet of your front door and they are causing, say, your livestock harm, you are allowed to hurt, a possum or a raccoon or whatever without a hunting license.
Yeah. When I lived in Arizona for my junior and senior year, it was no hunting license required to go out and take coyotes. In fact, they paid you a $25 per pelt bounty, the state did. So those are kind of the exceptions. So shall we start at the top of the list?
Yep.
Talk about, okay, muzzle loaders, old school muzzle loaders that had flash pans.
Like your flintlocks.
Flintlock, wheel lock, yeah, those type.
Matchlock, if we want to go back 1600s over here.
Yeah, exactly. The old, the musketeers, they had the little burning fuse thing, and that set it off.
Yeah.
Actually, there are some reproduction ones nowadays that I've seen that it's actually a rifled barrel, not a smooth barrel like the old ones were.
There's a couple really good ones, actually, reproductions, and I fired one. It was based off the what is the name of that company? Because I know Heritage had one. I'm trying to think of the other company I did. It was like an England-based company. But they made basically a reproduction of the Brown Bess, but it was with a rifled barrel. And I've actually shot it. And I'll tell you what, if you have anything bad or lacking in your marksmanship, like, you jerk or, jerk the trigger, move when you like have a flinch whenever you pull, it's going to be amplified 10,000 times when you should have black powdered, because it's a delay. You pull the trigger and it's going to be bam, bam. And if you move at all after that first one, then your shot's going to be completely, off.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that was one of the problems historically with the match and the flints and stuff. Because you're there and all thing could just flash on the side, and, unless you fired it a lot and got used to it, people flinched and pulled and jerked. Because it was not instantaneous and fast burning like modern powders are.
Brass
And there's so
card
much
says
more.
you could fire an 7.62 like a flintlock.
Yeah.
If you want to use a matchlock on it, I didn't know that.
Well, the only drawback with like the pans that he's talking about, the main drawback is humidity and weather and everything else really does affect it because you can't keep that stuff dry since there is that tiny little pinhole between the pan and the barrel. So
Yeah.
if you are say, in my area, southeast, humidity and everything's dewy outside, your powder can get gunky, and it's
Yeah.
kind of more the butt.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's a lot of things. That's where that saying came from. Keep your powder dry.
Yep, don't want to be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, flash in the pan, and nothing happens.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So that and yeah, they are. Some states actually consider old that type of muzzle loader. I mean, they call them, even if it's a reproduction, they still call it an antique firearm, and it's got a different classification as far as the states are concerned. So
I thought it was federal.
Well, yeah, but besides federal, I mean, some states, still, federal. Everyone classifies it a little bit differently. That's one of those funky gray areas, and I didn't work for the ATF, and I kind of avoided those guys.
Well, I know you can buy the black powdered anything before like 1890, I believe. If it's black powder, you can buy it as long as it's still black powder.
Yeah.
As you can buy it offline or wherever without a background check because it's black powder. It's an antique, so it's no 4473 required. And I know that if you have a felony or whatever,
permit to shoot those, even though it's just recreational.
No, just to shoot. No, just to shoot the black powder. No, you don't need a permit just to shoot them out at a gun range or anything.
Yeah,
because that's what I would be telling them. I'd be telling them it's just for recreational, and then I go out and shoot whatever the heck I wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go hunting with it, then yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if California ever changed it, but they were talking about making those, just like anything else.
Man,
they wanted you to do a background check and everything else on it. The next thing up was the next step evolution of firearms was along with actually this next let me get my tongue straight here.
Turn it over.
Ball and cap rifles and pistols, and something that Matt kind of crosses over between the flintlock and the ball and cap was the old blunderbuss.
Yeah,
I like
the original shotgun with the big old bugle end on it. You just pour everything down in there. Originally they were flintlocks, and then they later added the primer to it, so it was like you had a cap on it.
You had everything down the barrel, and then you camped it, and then you put the firing and everything right up at the cock pin.
So ball and cap, black powder still. And there is a lot of recreational ball and cap shooters out there. You can go out to some of the ranges. They have ranked days. Certain ranges have days where you go out there and there's 300 black powder shooters out there, and they have competitions all the time. And it's a very, very interesting sport in amongst itself. And a lot of these guys hunt with their black powder rifles.
And they're good with them.
Huh?
And they're good with them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. One thing I wanted to add is I don't know about any other states. I'm sure a lot of states do the same as mine. But in South Carolina, in my zone, when I'm hunting, they have a hunting, say the season starts August 15th. Mm-hmm. Well, from August 15th until October 15th, it's only primitive weapons. So you can't use a shotgun or a rifle. The only thing you can shoot it with is a archery or black powder. So that's why if you do want to start getting into black powder, it could actually be an advantage because you can get a start earlier on your hunting season. And that's what a lot of people do around here. The unfortunate thing about the cap, the primers, my cousin has one and he hates it because every time he puts that primer down, he doesn't push it down far enough. So when he goes to shoot, the first shot seats the primer, and then he has to do it again and hope the deer didn't move to actually shoot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. Ball and cap has its drawbacks of caps falling off the rifle or pistols, and but if you, that's why people started using.
Is firearms at SHTF, Lori, conventional firearms?
Yeah, we're saying other weapons that make sense other than semi-autos. We want to eliminate semi-autos off the bat. And so,
Can't use these.
yeah, can't use those. Hope you don't get in trouble for that, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a live stream.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to do this. Somehow it was supposed to do that somehow. There we
Lock
go.
it open. Yeah, locked open and emptied. Yeah,
Yeah, it's empty.
yeah,
Ow.
yeah. So
I'm probably done now.
the fun of ball and cap, you have with the caps on them, with the caps falling off, a lot of the old timers actually take like a Q-tip and dab a little grease of some sort. Originally they used to use bear grease or something, or tallow, or
Look here, Tyler.
Lard.
yeah, lard.
That's for Tyler.
On this, you have a nipple on the pistol that goes around, and the cap seats over it. Well, they put on the side, they put a little grease to hold the cap on there, and also keep any water from getting into the nipple to get it into where it would get into the powder.
Yeah, I found those, by the way. They did that a lot in the Civil War, and
yes.
you see that if you go to Civil War battlefields and you say you're a metal detector like me, you pull up these caps all the time, because that was a big thing. Make sure no water gets back there. So
yeah,
absolutely.
So water so far has been a drawback for the type of weapons we've been talking about. You don't go out in the rain and shooting with them too often.
One thing I wanted to add, another drawback, you might be getting up to it, I'm sorry if you will. But
go ahead.
The black powder is corrosive. So, right now you can go outside and shoot your AR, modern shotgun, whatever, 1, 2, 3 times. And you really don't need to clean it. It's pretty harmless because it's smokeless powder. Black powder is very corrosive. So if you don't clean the barrel after you shoot, even one time, and you let it sit, it can damage the barrel. So you want to make sure you clean it.
It rusts.
Yeah. You get a very chemical reaction to it. So yeah, not only you got to clean the barrel, you got to clean on your pistols. You got to take off the nipples, clean the inside the cylinder. You got to clean the nipples out. Re-oil everything, put it all back together. So yeah, black powder is maintenance heavy. Yeah. Now the next thing, still black powder, is cartridge. That's black powder. I don't know how many of you saw the movie Quigley Down Under with Tom Selleck, and he had the black powder rifle that had cartridge on it that had a 45 110 black powder cartridge.
Well, they still have the 4570s you can get too.
Yeah, well, it came, but you get the 4570s, 45 110s, and 4590s was the other one. So yep. 70, 90, 110s, and yeah. So, but you have your cartridges, so it's quicker to load. It's like modern ammunition, except still black powder. If the cartridge is manufactured right, it's pretty much watertight. And so that's a big step forward. And there are a bunch of people that fire cartridge black powder as well.
Yeah. Well, that's why smokeless powder was invented, because we got to at least mention the fact that black powder burns a little slower than smokeless powder. So a little less hot.
And not only that, just the name smokeless versus black powder. Does that mean black powder throws out a big cloud of smoke? Yes. Just look at the movie about Gettysburg. You see all this big old cloud of smoke going out, and they can't see each other. Yeah. After everybody fires a volley, it's like, okay, someone was there. I'm going to reload. I'm going to aim for that area. I'm going to hope I hit somebody.
Well, if you watch them fire, they would fire and then they would take one step forward. So they'd be out of that smoke ring.
You would hope there's some sort of wind going in your favor.
Yeah. Okay, Texan put in the side chat, paper patch rifle, 45, 65, 45, 70, 45, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just today, I mean, you can still find some black powder. Most of the time you're going to find, obviously, the 45-70 was very popular, but even the old 45 long Colt pistols were black powder. So,
Yeah.
you know,
ACR.
it's up to you.
Oh, Brastard's 7.62 says you can reload any cartridge with black powder. True. Even
Yes,
modern
which
day
is fine.
ammunition, you can reload it with black powder, but it's not going to perform like you're used to.
Yeah. That's why
The-
the round is getting smaller and smaller, and you got to use certain types of powders.
Yeah. Ah, black powder burns hot and destroys plastic shotgun shells because it also burns slower. Now we're getting in. So we covered all the black powder. Now we're getting to more modern ammunition. And the first rifle I got was a 22 long rifle bolt action. I still have that baby, and
too.
it is fun and it's accurate and
First
it's
one I got was a 30-30 lever action.
well, that's coming up next. But the bolt actions are so long as you clean them and stuff, those things will go forever and are indestructible.
Yeah, I got a Remington.
In my opinion.
I got a Remington 22 LR bolt action, and I learned how to shoot on that thing. That thing's great. Still got it.
They last forever, though, those 22 LRs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got mine back I got it for my 16th birthday. So that puts it back in 73. I got it. And yeah, it's still great.
Yourself.
Now, besides 22, now 22s are great prepper rifles because especially like my bolt action, you get to use the long rifle, you can use the longs, or you can use the shorts out of it. It fires them all, and shorts are great for squirrel hunting, and possums and raccoons. But yeah, they're all around great small game hunting, rabbits, stuff like that.
Squirrel, muskrat.
Yeah, exactly. You can even take out beaver with them.
Basically, beaver and below is a pretty. I don't want to say it's a guarantee. Obviously, you got to hit in the right spot. You can't shoot in the back leg and expect a kill shot, but it's pretty effective at that. Small game kind of thing. Beaver would probably be the biggest. I mean, I've seen people take down deer with them. I have, but it's just one of those. Your shots really got to count.
Yeah, and it's and a 22 long rifle at the right angling up, will go over 1.5 miles before it comes back down to the earth. But you're not going to have you're not going to be able to sight in on anything, like that, because you got such a steep angle to it.
I made a 22 out of a piece of PVC pipe one time.
Yeah.
And
the bolt actions, just about any caliber you can get, even up to 50 caliber, you can get bolt action in. So you have to decide what makes common sense to you. They even have bolt action for 223.
The old surplus.
Yeah, 3220. I got a 3220 Thompson Contender pistol, single shot pistol for hunting. And that's something I didn't put on here. Single shot pistols. But that's down far. Pistols are down farther down here a little bit. But
just think about your bolt actions, like your surplus rifles that you can usually find hardcore, like your very, very old Russian made. I call them garbage rods, but it's technically what they are. I forgot what YouTuber actually calls them that, but what are they actually called? I can't think of the name right now. It's on the top of my head. I call them garbage rods all the time. The Mosin Nagant.
Yeah.
You can find those everywhere for like $300. So if you want a budget rifle for bolt action, you'll get a Mosin, Russian made.
Yeah.
You might be able to get a Mauser too for a decent price. Probably not a German Mauser, but say a Swedish made, Norwegian, something like that. You can find those for a really good price as well. Same with an old British 303, the Enfield.
Yeah, my sister had a 7mm German Mauser that she used for hunting, and when she couldn't get a deer and she was coming back, she would pop the heads off of pheasants and get a couple pheasants to bring back for dinner.
That's pretty good shooting right there.
Oh yeah, it's overkill, but yeah,
that's pretty good shooting for a 7mm and a pheasant, especially if it's flying.
Yeah.
No, she'd catch them on the ground. She'd with the scope and stuff. She'd catch them on the ground. One around, and when they stop.
But still, that head, you got to figure that's a jerky bird. That thing's probably moving all kinds of weird directions.
Yeah. So that's your bolt actions is probably one of the best, common sense rifles for a prepper.
As long as you get the design that was based on the Mauser, like the Springfield, ended up having sued by Germany for basically copying the Mauser action, and then we ended up paying Germany a copyright infringement during the war. But that's kind of how it was. It was the best design period, which is why Remington 700s to this day still use that same style action. So action still around for a reason. It's not going to die. It's the best part about bolt action is nothing's really moving. It's more accurate.
Yeah. And so your bolt action is probably your what's the word I'm looking for? Your tank of a rifle. The only moving part is when you pull it back, put the new one in. Next one is is the next evolution in firearms is the lever action. The old John Wayne, in the rifleman rifles. And actually, there are some really, really neat modern designs out there that are just absolutely fantastic. And even a not so modern design, but modern manufactured is one my son just picked up. He got himself a Marlin 1895 4570 saddle rifle.
That's a repo, right, or a reproduction?
Yeah, it's a modern reproduction, but made by Marlin. But it's just
Marlin fixed their issues, because I know they're having real bad issues quality control with the whole Remington buyout. And there's like 10 years where you couldn't touch a Marlin on the shelf. Every gun store clerk would tell you, no, don't buy Marlin right now. They're going through that chain.
Well, the local gun store here that I've been dealing with, the guy goes, yeah, these are good now.
Okay, then you're good. Yeah, I didn't know if they fixed it or not.
Yeah. So, so he picked up one of those because it's not semi-automatic. And he's also heard my stories about in the police academy, which I'll tell a little bit later here when we get to the next section here. So lever action coming everything from 22 all the way up to 50 cal. And so, you have your choice there of what you want to hunt with. My younger brother's first rifle was the Winchester 30-30 saddle rifle. And, that thing's, now his son has it, and that rifle's still going strong. And my brother was only 2 years younger than me. So
the 30-30 has been around slaying deer for over 100 years, no questions asked. Easily.
Oh yeah.
30-30 is a great round, and it's perfect for a lever gun because in the tube it's a round nose, so it's not going to accidentally hit that primer and set
recoil
the next
and
round off.
Set the whole stack off. Yeah.
So the reason why I like lever actions is you can have one caliber for two things. So you have a revolver you're carrying at 357 or 44, and you can get lever actions in 357-44, which are better and stronger because the longer barrel means you're going to get a little bit more efficiency, and the powder's still burning, and it's going to be a little bit more velocity. You can take down deer.
Right. See you later.
Yeah. Interesting point on the lever actions. The 30-30 round with a short saddle rifle, if you fire it at night, you're going to get at least a 2 to 3 foot fireball coming out of the end of it as the powder finishes burning. With your 357 out of a lever action, same length barrel. Of course, your 357 is that long, and your 30-30 is that long.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but coming out of the barrel, they're almost the exact same feet per second.
Oh, the velocity in those things is crazy.
Yeah, because the 357, that barrel is just the right length to burn up all that powder in the cartridge, whereas with the 30-30, it's got extra powder in there, so that's why you get that big muzzle flash at night. But,
There's a notice for you, Dave, if you want to grab it.
Yeah, I love 357 and a lever gun.
I sent you one, but grab it anyway.
Henry makes really good ones, but I love Winchester 1894. One of my absolute favorites.
Yeah. It's like Winchester is the Lincoln Continental, and the Henry is the Rolls Royce. And you pay it that way, and the Henrys are more expensive, but Henry has some great lever action 22s and stuff that are winning the competitions right now.
Yep, made in the USA, that kind of good stuff. I mean, you can get even budget ones like Rossi. Rossi makes a really, really good lever gun too.
There's a lot of great reproductions now too.
Yeah.
Now, guys, remember lever action shotguns when we get to shotguns. The next thing on the list there was revolvers.
Which one, the 12 or what?
We'll talk about it when we get to it. Just bring up lever action when we get the shotgun. Revolvers. Revolvers are
my favorite.
I want to put this. Revolvers quality not quality. Use of versatility relies on the length of the barrel. So I'm going to give you guys a little quick story here. When I went through the police academy back in 87, I got married in 88. A lot of the departments were switching over to semi-autos. Well, there were, out of my police academy class, there were 4 of us that had revolvers. I had the Smith & Wesson Model 28, which is a 357, in the end frame with an 8 3/8 inch barrel. Big, long hog leg of a barrel. And give me a second here. There's the picture. That big monster on my side when I was sworn in as the deputy sheriff. That's it. That's a big monster, isn't it?
Jeez, I can only imagine the chicken wing you had to do to draw that sucker.
I was fast. I was fast drawing that. I got a custom built hold through, which is a slight tilt to it. But yeah, anyways, there was one other person in the academy had the exact same gun, except mine was blued, his was chrome. We took first and second place at the academy shoot. Third place was way down on the points below us, another revolver. That was a 6-inch revolver. The next one behind that was a 4-inch revolver. All the semi-autos were below us. And we used to tell the guys in the semi-autos, yeah, you can throw out 20 rounds there, but if you ain't hitting your target, it don't matter. With the longer barrel, you're going to hit your target more often. And that's why I like longer barrel revolvers. Now, some people like shorter barrel, but every time I was up against someone with a shorter barrel, I outshot them. Yeah,
the shorter barrels you can get the 2.5-inch, J-frame Smith. That's, it's perfect for putting on an ankle or something. That's basically all it's for, is to put it in places that you may not be able to carry it other way.
Yeah.
But if you have the opportunity, a 4-inch, in my opinion, is probably one of the best. You can still carry it. You can still conceal it. Well, for my frame, because I'm a pretty big guy, but it's still long enough to be very accurate, say 30, 40 yards. But keep in mind, if you're going to be using it for the defensive situation, it's going to be hard to justify a 40-yard shot to police.
Yeah, and like the 2.5-inch barrel, if you're more than 5 yards away from, you're going to most likely miss your target. Because that barrel, the bull only has so much to spend maybe one time before it gets into that barrel. And so it doesn't have good balance, and it goes off every which way, And that was the big thing. That's why they called them Saturday Night Specials. Because they had short barrels, and they hardly ever, those were meant for being up close, hugging a person and shooting them.
Yeah, that's to put up against somebody and pull the trigger, definitely.
Yeah. Revolvers, I've dropped mine got dropped in the mud once, and during an exercise, and didn't jam. Of course, we're firing blanks, but it didn't, nothing around the wheel jammed or anything. So I really love revolvers, and I know there's guys out there that love semi-autos.
I love revolvers. I carry one every day.
Yeah. So, and then like revolvers come everything from 22 up to the new Smith & Wesson 500, which is 50 caliber.
Yeah, revolvers are pretty.
Of course,
cool.
I ain't gonna fire one of those, because if I fire one of those, I'm going over my butt.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good brand when it comes to revolver, you can never go wrong with the Colt, Smith & Wesson, Ruger. Even Taurus has got pretty good revolvers, so those are the ones you really want to look for.
I really like most of them.
Yeah. And if you're going to go with like a 22, there's another brand you got to throw in there, H&R.
H&R, yeah.
H&R 9-shot 22 revolver is fantastic.
Didn't they get bought out, Heritage or Uberti?
It could be. I'm not sure.
Hey, Reed, how you doing?
I want to say they did. Because it's all under the same branch now. Like because Uberti owns like 4 other ones, and Heritage owns one. So they have all kinds of good ones. Yeah.
So that takes care of revolvers. I know revolvers barrel lengths. We talked about 2.5, 4, 6, 8 3/8, which also happens to be the same length as Dirty Harry's 44. But they also have them going out to. You can get them in 12-inch. You can get them up to 16-inch barrel on a revolver. Now, usually those are the ones that have the special custom stock that you can put on it, and for hunting with as well. But in California, the anything 12-inch or larger is what you have to be if you are a convicted felon, because you can't have a pistol under 12 inches.
He says H&R was bought out by Remington.
H&R was bought up by Remington. Hey, good company.
Yep. I know they got bought out by somebody, because I got an H&R shotgun, and I couldn't remember who they got bought out by.
Yeah. The H&R used to make a single shot 12-inch pistol that would fire rifle shells like in 45, 70, 30, 30s and stuff like that. It's called the Handy Gun. Now we're going up to shotguns. And shotguns have a so sizes of shotgun. 410, which is basically the same size as 45 caliber.
I like the new Hatfield.
16 gauge. No, 20 gauge.
Mm-hmm.
16, we're going up in size. So 410, 16.
Smaller the gauge or the round, by the way.
12, 20, sorry, I missed one. 410, 20 gauge, 16 gauge, 12 gauge, 10 gauge, 8 gauge, 6 gauge. Now, those last several are called punt guns, because those suckers are so big around, they're going to knock you on your butt. Usually they brace them on the ground, and when the geese fly over, they punt and take down several geese at once. But those are very rare to get. In most states, you can't fire them anymore without a special permit.
It's hard to even find a 10 gauge anymore.
Yeah. But shotguns,
They're 20 gauge.
Yeah. Shotguns are very versatile. Do you have a couple shotguns, Anthony?
I do.
Yeah, I got a couple too.
I know somebody who has like 6 of them.
Yeah,
That's a bit overkill, isn't it?
yeah. I got 2 shotguns, both 12 gauge. One is a long barrel that a semi-auto my dad left me. The other one is a pump. Is a Mossberg 500 pump in a bullpup case. So it is, for California. It was a half-inch over the minimum length for a shotgun. It's basically it's used for when I was with the sheriff's department. That's what I carry when I go in to clear a house because it's short and I got 5 shots.
I like the Hatfield because it folds in half. And where you fold it in half at, the lever on it will catch right on the bottom of the grip right here. So what I did was I hollowed that out so that it would fold all the way in tight. Instead of sticking out a little bit, it folded all the way in tight. And then it fit right exactly inside a backpack. So if you were going out like hiking or something, you could just fold it up and just stick it in your backpack and take off.
Now with shotguns, shotgun comes in 3 basic actions and several styles. So you have your you have a lever action shotgun.
Those are very hard to find these days.
Actually, 4 styles, not 4. So you have a lever action shotgun, which is making a comeback.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I've seen a couple new ones out there on another channel, FTB, reviewing them. So you have a lever action. You have your standard.
Yeah, the Hatfield is only a single shot, small town.
Single shot, single or double barrel. The old-fashioned double barrel shotgun breaks open, put in. So you got your single shots. You have your pumps. And you have your semi-auto.
Yep.
And then there's some new funky ones which have like the it's a pump, but it's a 3-barrel design, and each thing's magazine. It's we're getting something weird there, but for your basic prepper stuff, I would probably say your pump short barrel is your best defense one. Your 18 and a half inch barrel is your best defense. But hunting, you want to go with
28, 30 inch barrel if you can.
Yeah. And configuration, you have your side by side on your double barrel. You also have over under.
Yeah.
And what's neat about the over? Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
I'll just say one thing I wanted to add. The reason why he brought up the 18 and a half inch barrel is because that is the least length of barrel you can have without having a class 3 license. So if you go below 18 inch barrel on your shotgun, you are, and I think it's like 26 inches total for the length. So if you want to have a pistol, grip on your shotgun, you're gonna need a longer barrel. You can't just have a certain amount of length. So, in the movies, I know it's cool. Like I say, Desperado, they, saw off the shotgun, so it's the big spray. You're gonna need a class 3 for that. If you get caught with that, it's gonna be a lot of trouble for you. So, keep that part in mind.
Yeah, with your over-unders, you get mutants there. You have the most common one is a 22 over a 410. So you have a 22 barrel on top of your 410 shotgun. And those are great survival weapons.
I'm a huge fan of simple pump. I have a Remington 870, first gun I ever bought myself. It's my home defense one.
Police use those forever and ever.
Yeah, they were used in World War II. I mean, they've been used in 3 major wars. So absolutely.
Yeah. Your shotgun, you got your different sizes. So let's have sizes, but most common is 12 gauge and 20, and then next is 410. But on your shotguns, there's 2 different basically makeup. There's smooth bore, full bore, and then there's ones with chokes on the end of it.
Yep.
With a choke, you can't fire a slug because basically it chokes it down at the end. It can't fire a slug; you'll blow the end of your barrel off. But with the choke is to keep the shot pattern tighter when you're firing, bird shot, and there's all sorts of different size shot. The
Turkey.
only type, turkey, pheasant. I mean, you got all sorts of different shot sizes. With the shotgun with a slug in it, there's actually deer hunting season for slug from a shotgun in certain states.
Indiana is the one that comes to mind. They don't let you do rifle. It's only a shotgun with a slug.
Yeah. And then there's you have your once you get above your bird shot stuff, you get into buckshot, and you have aught, double aught, triple aught, buckshot. And hey, buckshot, I think that came from trying to shoot a buck.
One more thing. I don't know if you're getting to this part, but the length of the casing, the shell.
Go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, I was just going to say the ones you're going to see most often these days are going to be 2 3/4, 3 inch, and 3.5 inch as your round, basically your shell length. Now, a lot of shotguns these days come with only a 3-inch chamber, so you can't put a 3.5 inch shell in that chamber because it won't go all the way forward. Like, you're not going to be able to fire it, but you can easily get your bird shot, which is 2 3/4, and put that in a 3-inch, no problem. It's less recoil, something good to put on the side, side saddle if you put it on your shotgun. So remember, 2 3/4 you can fire in all three. 3 inch you can only fire in a 3 inch, and a 3.5 inch, and 3.5 inch can only be fired in a 3.5 inch. You're going to see that in like a Remington 870 Super Magnum or a Mossberg. It'll say Magnum.
Yeah, I found that out when I got my 3-inch Remington 12 gauge.
Yeah, worst recoil I've ever had was shooting a 3.5 inch buckshot at Remington. I didn't realize it was a 3.5 inch. My friend gave it to me. Here, shoot this, and I didn't hold it tight enough, and I had a huge bruise. So I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah. And so your shotguns, each type, size, pattern, shot is specifically for a different type game. So you can use bigger ones on smaller animals, but you're going to be tearing up the smaller birds by using bigger shot.
No, I have not shot a 10 gauge, Tyler. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
The good thing about the shotguns is it's very versatile. I think it's kind of what you're getting at. You can go bird one day, and then you can just either change out the barrel or change out the round, and you can hunt deer, small game, whatever. It's very versatile, and it's very, very good for someone who's on a homestead, because you can, depending on what type of round you load up and what kind of barrel you have on there, say choke, you can go hunting, home defense, pest control in the same hour, for that matter.
Yeah. Now, I've seen stuff talk about this. I've never done it, so I'm a little bit out of my field here with this one, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. I've seen advertisements for a smooth bore shotgun with a choke attachment on it's supposedly removable choke attachment. Now, I don't know anything about that. It's something that just screws on the outside, adds another inch or a couple more inches on it, chokes it down. So you just unscrew that off. So that way you only have to have one barrel, and you can go use it for slug, or you can use it for your other shot.
My 870 has that. At the end, it'll take different kind of chokes. And all you use is a choke wrench, and you can take off and put on whatever you want to.
So basically, about a smooth bore is an all around, and you can carry the different ammunition. You can change right up there. Load in a slug, or load in double aught, or load in pheasant shot, or whatever you want to put in there. Right there in the field, you don't have to change out the barrel. You can do it fairly quickly. I don't want to say really quickly, but yeah. So shotguns is probably, I would say, the best all around. If you're going to get one type of weapon for hunting and everything else, I'd be kind of leaning towards a shotgun, because you can hunt. You can put a slug in it. You can hunt deer. You can hunt. You You put the smaller shot in it. You can hunt squirrels. You can hunt pheasant. You can hunt whatever. Depending on your ammunition, you just got to have the different ammunition.
I agree. And one thing you do have to pay attention to in a non-SHF and like a real life scenario, if you are most laws these days, if you're going to be shooting waterfowl, you can't use lead shot. So say you're going to be shooting dove, you can use lead bird shot all day. But if you're going duck hunting or in the water, you got to use steel shot. So if you're going to go shopping for your ammunition or whatever, and you're looking for practice round, bird shot, whatever, there's a big difference between waterfowl game and dove, because you can use lead for dove, but steel only for waterfowl.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. The next thing on the list here is going to throw up a lot of, what the heck are you talking about in the side chat? And that's airsoft. Now, I've discovered something about it before everybody starts going weird on me. Airsoft has 2 calibers, 6mm and 8mm. And the airsoft guns, I've actually found some videos on them where they're cranking up the pressure. They actually have them with air pressure on it, and they've changed out the regulators and crank them up, and they can slip in, instead of the plastic 8 or 6mm, they put in steel 6 or 8mm, and they actually go hunting with them.
Where's your video on that?
There's some, you can, if you just Google, the stuff, you can find them on there. But there are some videos on do that. However,
Later,
there's a big, all right, take it easy, Dave. There are some big warnings on it, is that when you do crank that up like that, you're going to cut the life of your airsoft gun down, because it's going to wear it out. It's going to put more tension on the internal mechanisms that it wasn't built for those higher pressures. And that's what some guys are doing. But so there is an answer around it without ruining an airsoft gun. If that's what you have and you want to crank it up because you need it really quick, that's a possibility, but it's not advisable. So that's the caveat. It's not advisable for that.
Some states were making it so you had to have at least have firearm safety to use those things.
Haven't heard that, but still, for a squirrel or small game like that, you could probably just by putting in the steel shot might be able to kill a squirrel.
Because the guy at the Walmart was telling me about that.
Yeah.
That because they're so powerful now that they're wanting to make sure that you know how to fire the thing.
Yeah. Well, the airsoft is supposed to has a certain limit to what they'll allow you to have it at when you go into a competition.
Some of them are pumps. I know when I was getting them for my kid when
you're talking. No, that's pellet guns. 2 different animals here. The airsoft.
The plastic BBs.
Yeah.
He was using was a plastic BB. He had to pump it to get it to fire a powerful shot.
Well, actually, with airsoft, you can't. A true airsoft gun, you can't. You can get plastic BBs for air rifles.
Yeah.
But airsoft is usually most of them are spring loaded, so you pull it back and that's it. You can pull it back all the day you want. It's not going to go any harder.
Yeah,
because it's a spring load,
right?
And it just shoots the plastic BB out there because it's plastic. Since it hits the air, it starts slowing down more. Whereas if you use the metal 6mm or 8mm steel shot in it, it takes that kinetic energy out there. But that is a last ditch, in my opinion. For most people, I'd say don't even bother with that one. I was just throwing that out there because I had people mention to me.
I have to have him go down and look at them.
Now, the next thing we're really getting into is probably what everybody's expecting: a pellet gun. Mm-hmm. Your standard pellet gun, Benjamin or
Crossman's got them.
Crossman, yeah. And those you can pump up and actually My son pumps them up to about 12, 15 pumps for taking out the squirrels in the backyard there in California.
Yeah. Whenever you doing it as a kid.
Huh?
You, of course, stopped him, right?
Of course we did. I just remember being a kid. We didn't have airsoft. We only had BB guns. It was only, hey, one pump until someone pissed you off and you just start pumping away.
Yeah. And you had to wear, the goggles and everything, with the steel mesh on the catcher's mask and everything else. And usually you had, for your clothes, you had several Levi jackets and several Levi pants on.
Yeah, you try to.
But your pellet guns come two different ways: pump and with CO2 cartridges.
CO2 cartridges are the best.
You can take down a squirrel. No problem.
Yeah. And so they come in. Most of your pellet guns come pellet / the BB guns fire the BBs, the little copper BBs, or copper coated steel BBs. Your pellet guns are a .177 caliber or 22 caliber.
Yep.
Those are your pretty much standard ones. And those you can only pump up to, and those you can get up to 500 feet per second, maybe 600 if you pump it up. But you're looking at, on those standard little ones you get at Walmart and stuff, you're looking at damaging the O-rings and the internal mechanisms of it, pumping it up too much.
Yeah, some of those Daisy pellet guns can get right into your skin pretty far.
Yeah. Now, so with the pellet guns, you can take out, pump them up, go, you like the one I had said 8 pumps, and we pump it up 10, 12 pumps, and we take out the nasty squirrels that are eating the apricots and the cherries and the other stuff in the backyard. But if you want to actually do some hunting, they actually have hunting air rifles, 1,400 feet per second. Those things are awesome. And I'm not sure if I can do that one here. Okay, I got this other one over here. So I'm going to bring this up on the other side here. Hopefully it goes to the right place here.
Just looking at some of those at Walmart, some of them are $150. Those really nice ones.
Yeah, the hunting ones, I've seen them on Amazon for go up here, get another tab open here. There's some nice ones, some Benjamin, and there's a Swiss one too that are $120, 1,400 feet per second. And I want to make sure I catch just before it makes any noise. Okay, I got it there. And make sure it cues it up here. But there are the hunting ones come in more calibers, and you actually have. That's the big one there. Okay.
It goes through milk jugs and water jugs with one pump.
Yeah. Let me get it back up. Sorry, guys. I had something here, and I forgot to cue it up beforehand because I had an earlier thing here. Let's try this one here. Maybe this one here. Let's see.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I?
Eat it on.
The one thing I wanted to add is the 177 caliber. Ones that you can buy from Walmart. They're very effective at small game, and especially like if you have a squirrel in your attic. I've done that before. You can you don't have to worry about damaging all your stuff because you can shoot inside. Not a big deal. So if you have any kind of vermin problem, especially mice in your garage, or whatever, just get you a little pump BB gun and boom, you're good to go.
Yeah. Okay. I have the big one here. Okay, so let me get this set here.
You gotta poke your eye out with that thing.
Exactly. Okay.
Get your eye out.
All right. Anyways, on the hunting rifles, air hunting rifles, you have your 177, you have your 5mm, which is about 20 caliber. You have your 22 caliber. You have your 25 caliber. You have your 30, your 32 caliber, all the way up to 45 caliber air rifle.
That's crazy.
It gets even crazier, guys. You're gonna love this in the side chat there.
How about the
There-
next one, which is the bow crossbows?
Well, we'll just wait on this here. On this air rifle, hunting air rifle, there is one called the Air Force, is the name of the brand, Texan Big Bore Air Rifle, 45 caliber, shoots a 375 grain slug. That you charge the cylinder up on the rifle up to 3,000 foot-pounds, pounds psi, and they actually hunt deer with them.
God.
All right. Yeah, so hang on a second here. I got to set this up here to the second screen. Share. All right, Will, can you put that up for full screen now? That new one I just shared down there?
I don't know if I want to.
Oh, you'll love it. Okay, go. All right, so what? This is partway through this one video here. I'll put the link up here on it. The guy's doing a test on it.
I think I saw this guy.
That's Iraq veteran,
What?
8888. Good God.
Okay, so what he did was he took the 375 grain bullet and drilled it out and made it a hollow point. And as it went there, let me back it up here just a little bit. You can see how far it went into that ballistic gel. Now, if there's another one out there, let's see if I can run this. So yeah, here's another shot. Where to go? Okay, that's what it looks like after it came out. Now I have bring down the other one. There's the other one with not quite as much of a being bored out, and that one went nearly all the way through the ballistic gel with just a little bit drilled out. Yeah, so they can hunt. You can hunt deer with this. And on the they talked to the guy on this one. No, they don't have the other guy in here on it. But if you go to the Air Force, look at the world's most powerful air rifle. The guy talking on there has taken down deer in 5 different states with the air rifle.
Holy cow.
Yes. That's what he hunts with now is the air rifle because it kicks like a regular rifle, but it's quiet.
Yep, that's the one thing. You want to make sure you're quiet because if you're worried about giving away your location, best part about an air rifle.
Yeah, and this is another air rifle. This one here, you see how fat this barrel is here? I got a suppressor on it. It's a built-in integral suppressor, so there's no because it's built in as part of the barrel. There's no ATF special license for it. But this guy was here talking about hunting rabbits and with it and stuff. So there's a bunch of different things with it here, and I'm not going to show that because I don't want to get demonetized on this video. He actually on this one here, I'll put the link up here for those of you who want to go see it. For this one is right here, and that's the one guy for hunting for rabbits. And this is the link. The second link I'm throwing up here is on that 45 caliber one. And so they actually make pumps where you can pump it up without having to go to a scuba shop and getting a big tank filled up and filling it off the big tank. There's no gunpowder. The lead you can make, get a mold for your whatever size caliber you're shooting and make your own bullets. Once you have the rifle, that's the only expense there is.
I wonder how much one of those cost.
All right, that big one, that 45 caliber one, $1,058.
Oh, Just want to go buy you a gun.
But like I say, ammunition. You're not going to be spending money on ammunition.
That's true.
You're not going to be spending, $2.50 a shot for a 45 caliber round going out there. So that's, in my humble opinion, and everybody can disagree with me. I won't take offense. If I'm going to get a single
That thing probably weighs a lot less than a real rifle.
silent weapon. I mean, that's what I'm looking at now, is getting one of those.
That's right. Drink water, hydrate.
Yep. Yeah. So, air rifles, believe it or not, make a lot of sense for not only preppers but homesteaders as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I have one, just
the next thing I have, bows. Long, recurve, compound. The breaking recurve compound combination called the Anita Eagle. But then you're talking over $1,000 for a bow. But
you need a really good one for $300-$400. That'll take down any kind of game you need to. I got a bear. I want to upgrade to like a Matthews and whatnot, but a bear or a PSE make really good compound bows for $300 to $400 range, and that comes with a quiver, whisker biscuit, sight, all that stuff.
Yeah, I have the Anita Golden Eagle, which is the next step down from the Anita Eagle. The Golden Eagle I got back before I got married.
Did you make arrows for those things?
Yeah.
They have reloaders set up for those things?
No.
Or you can make your own arrows and stuff?
Actually, these bows, my Golden Eagle, you can only shoot composite or aluminum arrows out of it. Because a wooden one, it'll splinter before it gets more than completely past the bow. It's got that much tension on it.
There you go. Work on getting those goddamn things tubed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to be shooting a wooden arrow, want to make your own arrows, I would highly advise getting a recurve. Staying away from compound.
Recurve or a standard longbow.
Or figure out how to make those darn things out of aluminum shaft or whatever,
Carbon shaft, aluminum shaft, that kind of stuff.
What just happened here? Okay.
I got you.
Okay. I hit the wrong button there. Okay.
Hello there, Stephen.
Hey, Steve.
What's up, Steve?
Yeah. So the bows have, how long have bows been around? Caveman days?
Forever.
4,000 years before BC or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So bows are, the advances, tons of advances have been made in bows, but
recurve would be perfect.
Yeah, but they have all sorts of. Like my Golden Eagle has a 65-pound draw on it, and it's in I went deer hunting with it, and it was like deer never even knew what hit them.
I don't know if you guys know who Step One Survival is, but he makes his own stuff, man. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
makes his own bows, makes his own arrows.
Yeah,
I'd like to make my own bow.
And
I got a couple staves drying right now, hickory. So I'm gonna learn how to make my own whenever those dry out.
Yeah. The bows, if you got any child in Boy Scouts, and Boy Scouts is co-ed now. Scout camp, the biggest attraction of Scout camp, archery, rifle, shotgun. Okay. Where are we at here? We're at there. All right. The next thing on my list here is what Dave was waiting for: crossbows.
Yeah.
And crossbows,
Dave left.
yeah, he left. He wasn't feeling good, but he was gonna wait and pop in on the crossbow, possibly. But the crossbow is, I mean, some people call it the best of both worlds. The stability of a rifle with the quietness of an arrow. And they have some really, really new type arrowheads. And I was going to pull one up. They have one that looks like 3 rings on the head, all curved razor blades. And when it goes in, it cuts out a chunk of meat. So the animal bleeds out very quick.
From within.
Yeah. And so there's all sorts of also you got blunt heads for shooting rabbits and squirrels. And you got regular target arrows for practicing. You got your aluminum and composite arrow shafts have interchangeable tips. So you can put whatever type of tip you want on there. I would also recommend that you get a tip changer so you don't cut your fingers by accident on those nice sharp arrow tips. I learned that the hard way when I first got my arrows, my bow and arrow. Anthony, do you shoot arrows?
I do. I shoot a lot.
Tell us about it.
Well, I shoot with a bow, with a compound bow.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my friends have a crossbow more or less around here in the South. Crossbows are more or less for the older hunter or the one with a shoulder disability. They're called bolts. The arrows they shoot are called bolts, and they are very, very strong now. They have the really, really strong ones that are much more powerful than a bow could be. And it's good because you can put scopes on it, the little red dot scopes really make everything pretty easy. So you don't have to worry about, the 5 little notched bows.
Mm-hmm.
But there's different arrowheads you're going to want to look at, your broadhead, your 3-prong to get small game. And don't forget about bow fishing. I wanted to just throw that in here. If you are in a river area or a lake area and you could even see someone at nighttime, don't forget, it's a simple light. Some fish, especially catfish, like to explore light at nighttime. So if you have a lidded dock or you want to put some chum in the water, it's easy to night fish with a bow. So don't forget about that opportunity.
Yeah. Tibor says his Horton is a 150-pound draw.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I know Dave's was pretty up there. He has to use a cocking lever to cock his crossbow. And so, I mean, there's crossbows that are up over 200-pound draw on them that have, the cocking levers that you just cock it. And yeah, I mean, someone put in a side chat that crossbows shoot shorter. Well, not anymore.
No, the advances they're doing now, you can get, in all actuality, I have a compound bow. I would not ethically try to take a shot over 50 yards. That's about as far as I would ethically try to take an animal. Crossbows with the good sight and the accuracy and the power, you can do more than that, no problem.
Yeah. And generally, depending, they're semi-quiet. The little twang you get off it and stuff, and the noise and stuff, isn't going to carry like a rifle shot. So there's that bonus to it there. It is a quieter, both bows and crossbows are quieter weapons. And sometimes just a bow, just go out with a bale of hay and target arrows is a blast.
Oh yeah. I do it till my shoulders start hurting and I can't pull back I have a 60-pound draw and I can't pull it back anymore. So yeah. I love it.
I've never done any bow anything. I have.
It's just one of those skills I always wanted.
Never have tried it myself.
Yeah.
For me, it was more like a challenge because I had hunted so much with a rifle. I wanted to see if I could do it with a bow earlier in the season. Because you really got to, bring your deer in close, like really close.
It's with my buddy. I had this buddy that all he ever did was bow hunt, and he would go with me when I'd go with my rifle, and then he would just call them in for me. He'd go down the way and call them in for me, and then I would go with him when he hunted with his bow, and he would show me how close. I mean, he could get so close to him, he could reach out there and touch him without them knowing he was there, And it kind of makes you think about it, but I could never be that quiet. So I'm like the bull in the china shop when I'm out there.
Yeah, I have to get out there early and just hunker down and just stay in one spot there and just wait for them.
Well, the smell, when you bring them in closer, they're going to smell you. So
Yeah.
that's what's difficult about doing. That's why I want to get up if you can.
Yeah. So we've covered bows, crossbows. Now the next thing is cross pistols, which is the smaller version of the crossbow. And a lot of people consider cross pistols toys, but like with the crossbows, when they got a cocking lever on them and stuff, they're getting their power up a lot more than they used to be. It's a small game weapon. I wouldn't try taking down a deer with a cross pistol, although you probably could if you had one of the more powerful ones and you had the right tip on it and you were able to get close enough to the deer.
Yeah,
But
I would take out and help with them.
I would, for a cross pistol, I would stay with your small game and fishing. Oh, they also have for I forgot. Sorry, for all these so far, all the bows and stuff. The special arrows for bird hunting.
Yeah, I'm not good enough for that.
Yeah, neither am I. But the bow fishing ones are you can use bows, crossbows, or cross pistols for fishing with. And I would probably say the pistol is probably the easier one to fish with. But that's my personal opinion. Anybody decide, chat? Have you ever gone fishing with a cross pistol?
I got a friend who goes bow fishing all the time, and it's got the reel up front and super accurate. You just got to worry about refraction. It's one of those things I really pay attention to. So never tried it.
Yeah. Question on the side chat here, or a question for the side chat. Howie, YouTube froze your account for protection. Whose protections? YouTube's or yours? What'd they say? And then the next thing is something else that Dave wanted to talk about, which was slingshots. And I'm talking about the pullback and the slingshots nowadays. I mean, they got them where it's like a bow. You're pulling it back, but with a whisker biscuit, you can shoot, and they got the little cup thing for them. You can shoot arrows out of a slingshot, and you don't get the snap you do out of the twangy sound you do from a bow.
Yeah, just remember that rubber has a finite lifespan, so eventually you're gonna have to stock up more rubber for changing out your string off. I don't say often, but often enough.
And I'm trying to remember what else I had here on this. I got a couple other links here sorry, let's see. That's the other rifles. Okay, they're talking about that, so I'm gonna kill that one. But I thought I had one here with slingshots on my list here. I don't want two. I want one. But yeah, there's a ton of information out there about all the stuff we've talked about, and some good information on them. What's this one doing? Sorry. This is okay. They have, going back to a video I did have one here, I forgot, on airsoft. They have a 50 cal airsoft that is the like the 50 caliber bullet. It looks exactly like the Barrett. It weighs almost the same weight as the Barrett M82, and it has 5-shot just like it, but the bullet is a CO2 charged container that shoots out the 8mm projectile. So that's when you can crank up on that. But paddlefish. Okay, I'm just seeing what they had there in the side chat. Let's see what the heck this one here was. I think that's something similar. But there are a lot of options out there for non-semi-auto weapons that are probably. Yeah, that's one of those. So for all these weapons we've talked about here, Anthony, what's your favorite? If you could only have one, what would it be?
Shotgun. No question asked. Yep.
Will?
I'd say shotgun too.
Yeah, shotgun is probably the most versatile all-around one. Because you can go after any type of game. The only thing you can't hunt really with a shotgun would be fish.
Yep.
You could go fishing with them. You just have to know how to lead them.
And you use the slug. And you hope that the shockwave stuns the fish and he floats to the surface and you can grab him.
That would work, I guess.
Now there are some other things which we hadn't thought of before. That I hadn't thought of. There are those other more primitive weapons, spears, atlatls. But for a prepper or a homesteader, I think we covered a pretty good list.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you guys can think that I forgot? Side chat. Anything you think that I forgot? Potato gun.
No, we definitely covered a lot. Oh, the one thing I definitely wanted to add though is with the shotgun. I meant to say this earlier. They make these conversion kits now. So if you do have like an H&R single shot, breech floating 12 gauge, they got these little inserts that you can put in and you can fire rounds in there. So you can put not just 12 gauge, but 20 gauge, 410 in the same shotgun. So
they have inserts now.
If you ever needed to make your 12 gauge almost a truly versatile weapon, to do whatever you got to do, they make those as well. So just keep that part in mind.
Also, Atlas too. We didn't get into that, but
yeah. You just made me think of something, Anthony. If you could probably, for a 12 gauge, get a machined piece of aluminum, 12 inches long, that would slide in there that you could put 22s, 223s, or something like that in, and that would make a shot. Huh?
So just to keep them accurate, so they're not bouncing around in the barrel.
Well, you have a little bit of stabilization to it, so that it's basically you're making a rifled insert for it.
Yeah.
I wonder if the ATF would get upset about that.
Probably make it a destructive device.
Or they make you got to get a serial number on it and get it registered.
What they don't know won't hurt them.
Yeah. Oh, Tiber says they already make them already. One of my friends makes a 12-inch conversion kit for a 12 gauge. Okay.
There you go.
They do 22 to 45-70. Cool. But it's got to be a smooth bore, non-choke shotgun, then probably. All right, so there you go. Now your shotgun is the most versatile prepper weapon out there.
Yep. So the one thing I definitely wanted to throw on here though is the crossbow. If you look back in history, certain weapons that were around for a reason, say the crossbow, because you didn't need that years and years of training, like you would be a longbowman. It was very simple. Everybody could do it. Same with a shotgun. You didn't need all that training because you could shoot in a certain like the blunderbuss kind of the old style. So you could hit a roundabout instead of having to be super trained at it. And same thing with a recurve bow. As the smaller they got, the less harder they were to pull back from the English longbowmen. They were more effective. All kinds of fun stuff, though.
Now, there was something back in the chat. I believe that Corsair Trainers said it, and I forgot to point it out. I'm not sure it's still there. Okay, yeah, it is, because I found it when he came in. He was talking about a crossbow and a bolt that you could actually I think he said puncture certain
armor.
types of, yeah
armor piercing bolt.
Yeah. So that's just plain scary.
Well, that's why they you look back in history, they had to start lightening up armor because they were getting to the point where they were sinking in mud, and only so many people could carry, and they lightened up armor too much, and the crossbowmen started to be able to puncture it. So it was just all that's why they didn't wear armor anymore. There's no point.
Yeah. Fires like looking at some of these stuff in the side chat here. Having a little contest there and making jokes to each other about stuff. 20 millimeter grenade launcher, or that fires like 20 rounds at once.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a destructive device. I tried to get one. Apparently, that's ATF registered, class 3. So found that out the hard way. It's called a bee or a buzz bee or whatever, bumblebee.
Yeah.
But if I was to get one thing, go ahead. I was just saying that if I was going to get one thing, it would be a shotgun, and second best would be a bow, just because you can't go wrong with a bow.
Yeah.
So I think it's about. I'm done with all I got to say. Hope y'all learned something.
Yeah. Now I do know, going back to some of the for ammunition for certain weapons and stuff, in certain states, California is not one of them. You can get it used to be Thompson Contender. Now I guess it's called Thompson Center. Those pistols, single shot pistols that you can fire a 45 Colt long out of. You can fire a 410 shotgun shell out of. You can fire a 45-70 out of. So there are certain weapons that are versatile like that, where you can fire either shot, and stuff out of it. But talking about the shot, though, they make special loads for 22s, 38s, and 45s called snake loads.
Yep.
And if you're in certain areas of the country at certain seasons hunting, you're going to have a revolver loaded up with snake shot.
I do.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did a video on it. If you're curious, just go to my channel. There's, a couple months back, I did a video on my 38 special snake shot. It was great. Yeah,
I love that. I started using snake shot 35 years ago.
Yeah.
CCI was the brand.
Yep. Still use it. Just great. The best one you can get.
Yeah. But yeah. So I hope everybody got something good here. We're hitting an hour and a half now, Will. You want to call it, right?
You got 5 minutes, buddy.
All right. So anybody have anything else out there in the side chat that you want to throw up here at us? Shot and disc combined. Okay, hang on. I'm looking at what Robert and Cindy Moore are saying. I think it's Robert talking. So what is you're shooting discs out of what? Shotgun? And then of course, was that who said that other one back up here? I'm looking back. I just saw something here. I don't want to go. Or was it Tibor? Yeah, Tibor, you can actually find me a plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Let me know where you got it.
Plasma rifle. What are you trying to do? Kill Terminators?
A judge.
Home defense
Yep.
loads for the judge.
410 Judge. 45 long Colt.
Texan, that's just wrong. That's just so wrong. Shooting sewing needles.
Ouch.
Oh, yes. Brastard 762. Dragon Breath shotgun shells, magnesium rounds. I've seen a couple of videos on those. Those things are wicked. Scary as all get out, and you don't want to shoot it during fire season.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot those things. I got too much woods around me.
Yeah. But the only time you could shoot them, Anthony, if you suddenly got a really cold snap and it snowed.
Yeah, even if I shoot them now, it's been raining for the last 2 weeks. I'm sure it'd still do something.
Yeah.
Magnesium don't go out.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for coming
Okay.
around. Everybody say goodnight.
Later, y'all.
See y'all guys later.
Thanks for coming, you guys. Not trying to push you out or anything. Just not feeling too hot.
Yep.
Catch you later.